All right, here I am at the Eagle Street Railroad crossing number 2 in Geneva, Ohio. So this crossing right here is a rather interesting crossing owned by the CSX Erie West subdivision, which is a subdivision that runs east and west through, the northeastern part of Ohio, and it also goes through northeast Pennsylvania. And I may or may not be wrong on this, but this is also probably a branch off of the CSX Willard sub, since it gets like some of the similar action, I guess same as the Cleveland short line, but this right here is the Erie West sub per se. So this crossing features some rather interesting elements. One of my buddies got into action in the past, so I'd figured why not check this out myself, since we're gonna be here for a few hours of the day while I'm out. So I guess with that said, I'll explain everything as I go on. So I guess with that said, let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a Western Cullen Hayes base, I believe with the back clamp as well. Yep, with the WRS back clamp. And here's the emergency information, and the dot tag and the dot number is 523844E. So yeah, and for the gate mechanism, which is a neat part, this has a US&S Model 75 gate mechanism, which is basically the same thing as a WABCO Model 75 gate mechanism, because as you can see, this retains the WABCO gate arms. So yeah, this is actually a US&S Model 75, since CSX used these instead of the WABCO one. Still pretty cool to see one of these still around, although I think CSX used both. But yeah, and the gate features some NEG LED gate lights, no wind guard on the mast. And for the lights on this one, this has 2 pairs of Western Cullen Hayes 12x24-inch flat back light heads with Leotech EV series LEDs in them. And I believe these replaced some 8-inch lights of some sort in the past. Actually, I believe these are actually the 2nd generation LEDs, because the Leotech EV series LEDs are flush with the disc, while these ones stick out a little bit. So these are the 2nd generation Western Cullen Hayes 2nd gen LEDs with the flat back light heads. And these are all sitting on a WRS light bracket, so I believe some WRS 8-inch lights used to be here in the past. And for a bell, this has a Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell. I believe this is a 1st or 2nd gen. Now, one thing worth mentioning about this bell, that this is probably one of the flattest sounding mechanical bells I have ever heard, like ever. It sounds like it's ticking, like it's dead, but it's really not. But I guess with that said, let's see if I can go ahead and shake this signal to make it ring, if it even will ring. So, yep, let's try it out anyway. Yep, there it is. So I guess it kind of rings, but it sounds like way worse when it's in operation. Like, it sounds healthy when I shake it. That's the funny part. So yeah, that was the first signal. Pretty neat stuff, I have to say. So now let's go ahead and move on to the second signal, which I guess has no remaining original equipment on it. So for the second signal, which is not similar to the first, this has another Western Cullen Hayes base with the WRS back clamp. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism of this one, this either has an Invencies rail or a Siemens gate mechanism with the stamped logo. As you can see, it's been taken off. You can see the adhesive that they use. I believe this is a Siemens gate mech with the stamped logo, because there's another crossing down there with the Siemens stamped logo gate mech. But yeah, and the gate features some more NEG LED gate lights, no wind guard on the mast once again. And for the lights, this has 2 more pairs of Western Cullen Hayes 12x24-inch 2nd generation LEDs with the flat back light heads, all sitting on a WRS light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it whatsoever. So I believe that these lights replaced some more WRS 8-inch lights in the past, and I think this gate mechanism replaced another US&S Model 75 gate mech in the past. So yeah, that right there was the Eagle Street Railroad crossing number 2. Here's the relay case. And I believe this is sitting at milepost 137.2. And further down this road is Eagle Street number 1, owned by the NS Lake Erie District, which actually runs parallel with this line that I'm standing on right here, which is pretty neat, but it's way on the other side. And that crossing has incandescent lights and a GS Type 3 E-bell, in which I got in action, but I didn't tour, but I might later. So I guess with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the track view. So down there is heading west towards another crossing at Chestnut Street, I believe, and you can see a couple of approach light incandescent color light signals. Actually, I don't think there is another crossing down there. I don't really see one, so I think this is a long straightaway and eventually heads towards a curve. There's not many crossings further west of here. But yeah, and down there is heading east towards another crossing at Broadway. Now, this is actually the 2nd crossing on Broadway. I toured the first one, but I forgot to mention that there's actually 2 crossings at South Broadway. So there's that crossing, and further down is also a bridge where you'll find a signal gantry, and also another crossing at Sherman Street and Walnut Street. So yeah, I guess that's all what's down there. Eventually towards another long straightaway, and trains actually go very fast through here. Like I'd say around 50 to 60 miles an hour, or sometimes slower, depending on what they have to do. So I guess with all that said, this was the Eagle Street Railroad Crossing number 2 in Geneva, Ohio. Pretty neat stuff. I had to get this in action myself, and now I pretty much know that the mechanical bell's flat because, like I said, my buddy there got in action in the past. So I guess with all that said, for now, over and out.